by the incineration from the last week and a half. The first couple of plants here are really interesting. One of the white flowers here is Aloysia virgata. Sweet almond is one of the names that it goes by. It's a really pleasant fragrance. It's a lovely sort of sub-shrubby kind of thing. I forgot how tall this gets. Gets big, large shrub, 6 feet plus. It's a little sort of lax in growth, but it's kind of nice. It's very graceful. And the fragrance really is pleasant. It's not overwhelming. You should come up and give this a sniff if you haven't smelled this before. The other is a really interesting form of Leucophyllum frutescens. It's a compacta form of Texas Ranger. You can see the purpley lavender flowers there. So Texas Ranger gets quite large, and Sabina Steinmetz got this from somebody who got it for her at Bothing Treeland, and she said it's only about 4.5 feet, which is actually really compact for that plant, so that's kind of interesting. The next one here is, okay, pronunciation time. Discoris thunbergiflora. Thunberg really had a lot of stuff named after an interesting fellow. This is from, I think this is Africa, yeah, East Africa and Mozambique. It's a shrub to 5 feet. And April, it blooms this time of year. It's a late season bloomer. There's a lot of things, or a number of things that come from Africa, South Africa, that do bloom really late in the year. It's kind of nice to have these, and most of them, I would assume, is fairly drought and heat tolerant. Yeah, it kind of shrugs off the heat if it's getting fairly regular water, and it's a really nice shade of blue on that too. An old friend I haven't seen for a long, long time. This is Ruderospolia. This one is Phyllis Van Heerden. So this is a cross, a hybridization of two different plants, Rudia and Rospolia, I think. Yes. And it's from, I think both of them are South African plants in the Acanthus family. And this one gets to 6 feet. This used to be available for a time. It was available in a number of nurseries in Southern California, and you don't see it anymore. I worked at Hortus when it was around, and we used to sell this. So I had a form from there that was much darker pink, but I lost it a long time ago, so it's kind of nice to see that again. If you come up, the markings on the inside of the flower are really interesting on this. This is Anascanthus quadrifolius variety Wrightii, and the Anascanthus, most of them the leaves are a little bit larger, the plants are a little more, I'd say almost, I don't know, not cruder, but this is very wispy and airy looking. It's really quite nice. Another late season bloomer, attracts, at least most of them attract hummingbirds. I don't know if this does. Fairly easy to grow, and I think, have you moved yours around the garden at all? Have you ever moved
No, but it has seeded in a couple.
Oh, they seed, okay, the seeds itself. I don't think I've ever had them. But really nice, another late season. All of these are quite nice for late season, and now we're going to have John come up and speak about this lovely new pelargonium.
Hi, I got a tiny little piece of this 15 years ago and have been trying to find the identity for 15 years. And all I've got is one Dutch botanist has it in Holland, and somebody had it at Kirstenbosch in South Africa 20 years ago. Nobody ever gave it a cultivar name. Some of you know Pelargonium reniforme. The leaves are like kidney form, but much smaller. And Pelargonium sedoides. And both of those are great little, kind of like heucheras, except they're alive. But this really is a tough plant. We think it has extra chromosomes because it's very thick foliage and really silvery and woolly, pretty good in part shade, and definitely good years ago, Wayne, blanking on his name. Yeah, Wayne Handlos, who used to lecture about Pelargonium reniforme and Pelargonium siduri. He said, big head of silver hair, big guy. So, people said, name it Big Wayne, but he was so refined, that was kind of a Bubba name. So, this is Wayne's Silver. And April bought the first one ever. And we'll sell a few back here, but really fun to finally get it out there in the world.
Thanks, John. I'm going to have to give up my Smart Aleck card. It'll never happen. Bouquet of nice natives. There's Helianthus in there, and also woolly blue curls, Trichosma, and the bladder pod, which I've forgotten the botanical name for. No, one person. Isoporus, okay. All right, that's, anyway, nice arrangement of California natives still in bloom.
So that was, I brought that identical bouquet when Mary Lee spoke. What was that, 3 months ago?
Yes.
So they have just been blooming forever.
And through this heat?
And no water. None of that gets any water.
No water, and through the heat, and they're still blooming.
Months and months and months and
Ugh.
months. No natives.
Yes. Calliandrus surinamiensis, say that 10 times. Calliandrus, the powder puffs, how big does this one get?
It gets huge.
It gets, most of them get big, sprawly, huge, yeah. The other thing they do too is if you, as a gardener, if you plant these for people, they call you up and say, they're wilting, they close at night. It's just
They also drop flowers and pods and,
yeah, but then they're hummingbird central, and there are wars going on daily. Oh, this is, and you hear the Pixar version of the seagulls, but in much more tiny. So, they're good hummingbird food, but they don't need water when they look like this. That's just a water retaining tactic that they use to. They fold up at night to retain some of that. Same one here. This is the native or Baja fairy duster, not quite native. Wow, it's right in the eyes. Stand like this. So this is the Baja form of Calliandra. It just says California. I wonder if it's California.
so that's why I thought it was California.
It's probably California. I haven't seen this in a while. I've seen the other form of it. I think the pink one that's a little more pink.
Yeah.
Saw that out at Anza Borrego. And it's startling when you come across them. It looks like somebody's dropped a garden plant, just a regular garden plant out in the wild, and you're like, where did that come from? Okay, this gets 6 by 6 feet. Very great. Most of the smaller calliandras are quite graceful looking, and actually I shouldn't say. I was going to say I think you can prune them, but I'm not sure. You can prune them? Okay. You can prune them into a smaller shape. I have to keep backing out of that. That's really. Techomeria and variety. The variety is forgotten. There's a lot of hybrids out there between the yellow and the orange. So there's all of these shades in between, and these things are shrugging off the heat as well. So the Techomerias are. This is probably a fairly large one, or is it?
It would be if
it would be, okay. Yeah, because these you can prune and they'll still bloom. There's a lot of more compact varieties.
Hummingbirds and orioles.
Hummingbirds and orioles. That's why I keep hearing the orioles in my garden. I've been wondering what they were going after. There's no fruit for them, so anyway. Excellent. All right, thank you all for bringing in the floral plants tonight. And now I want to hand this over to